It says you're live.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
All right, today
Welcome.
we are making chicken Alfredo. So this is one of the most requested recipes from Dining on a Dime Volume 1 that we did not have in Volume 1 because it was too expensive. And so Dining on a Dime Volume 1 was the ultra inexpensive but still wonderful tasting recipes. But things like cream, that's a little expensive, so we didn't include those in Dining 1. So this is in Volume 2. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So right here, Volume 2, 244, Chicken Alfredo, Volume 2, page 244. It is 25% off right now. All right. Now, I grabbed the olive oil because that's what I always do, and I forgot. You can use butter to brown your chicken for this one. Why are you staring at me?
Just looking at what you're doing. Using that big piratey knife.
You're making me freak out. Woo! That was hot.
Wow.
See, you got me off the game. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to heat your skillet, or in my case, my grandma's skillet, with butter and or olive oil, whatever you want to do. Of course, butter makes it taste delicious. And then you're going to cut up your chicken. Now, these are semi-frozen. I find semi-frozen chicken breasts, well, every chef does, but, oh, I just called myself a chef.
Whoa.
Ooh, am I fancyified now?
You are.
Every person who cooks food. Kind of like I'm a birthing person now. Did you know that? I might have to get on that after I'm done cooking. I got a thing or two to say about that. So olive oil keeps stuff from burning, but butter helps stuff brown. So depending on what you're wanting. But I like the frozen chicken because it's a lot easier to cut, okay? Now, this is a little over 2 pounds of chicken, and I'm just cooking it all. So I'm going to have extra chicken than what I would normally use for the recipe, just because that's the way I cook, so that I don't have to cook extra meals. And then I just use, ow, that's cold. Then I just use it for the next couple of meals. So that way when Mike wants lunch, he has chicken already cooked in there, and you can just grab it and nuke it.
Woohoo.
So, all right. Is anyone still speaking to me after Monday's rant? Do we have anyone on there at all?
Yep, there's 4 people on today.
Oh, good. See, I knew we had the faithful 4.
Clara says, my mom had one of those skillets from the 80s. Is that what this is from? Maybe?
I think Grandma's is older than that, but I'm not sure. The writing makes me think it's older, but I don't know. It may not be. Who knows? I could ask Grandma and see if she remembers when she got it. Okay, so there's the chicken in there cooking, all right? So now, we get all the chicken guts off.
You still cooking
Now, over here, I have my water boiling for my pasta. Now, you can use any pasta you want for chicken Alfredo. It doesn't matter. All pasta is the same. Oh, aren't you handsome? All right, so just use whatever pasta you have on hand. Huh? He did. He touched the pasta with his unwashed hands and then put it back in the box. Can you believe he did that?
Oh my goodness, that's disgraceful.
I know, it's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Okay. Now I found this garlic hiding in my spice cabinet. Who knows how long it's been in there? I mean, it could be months and months and months and months. Now, the recipe calls for 1 clove of garlic in Volume 2, Dining on a Dime Cookbook, page 244. For those of you just joining us right here, chicken Alfredo right there, page 244. So it calls for 1, but Mike is a garlic-aholic. So I am going to make extra for him because I'm just that wonderful of a wife. Hesitation, there's hesitation.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
There's hesitation.
you are an amazing wife. Wow.
I mean,
man.
I would know because I'm your son, but I would assume since you guys are still married.
You're assuming since we're still married?
Yeah.
Well, have you ever seen those videos where people say, well, they've been married 27 years. Why are they getting divorced now? Because 27 years was just a little too long.
You hit the limit.
Wow.
Hit the limit.
It's all right, I'll keep you.
Hit the limit.
Well, I think we shall have to have a talk about that.
I had to hit the comment before she did.
All right, so now we got our garlic all nice and cut up here. I'm going to cut it up a little bit more, but get my chicken browning over here and stir my pasta over here. And then I'm going to cut up my garlic over here. Does it smell delicious?
Yep.
Okay, now, I don't wait to brown my garlic. I just throw it in with my chicken. I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm sure somebody's going to tell me I'm wrong because I'm just so wrong all the time. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
How dare you say that? You're so wrong about being wrong.
I mean, I'm cutting on my countertop without a cutting board. How dare I?
Oh, it's so
I'm sure that's
disgraceful.
going to just send somebody through the roof.
How dare you? You do have garlic. Pre-cut garlic.
I know. I was just trying to use the stuff up that I found in the cabinet. All right. So get our garlic all chopped. The recipe says to cook the chicken first and then put the garlic in, but I have no idea why I wrote it that way because that's not how I do it.
Nan says, I don't even own a cutting board.
Yes, I know. Nan does not own a cutting board.
Relatable.
Well, I use a cutting board for some things, just not everything, like a lot of people do. Okay, so now we're going to get all this chicken. Now, like I said, this calls for 1.5 pounds of chicken for 4 people, which is a very generous serving. You only really need 1 pound, actually, but I like to have leftovers. This is about 2 to 3 pounds of chicken. I don't know how big of a bag was that. 3 pounds. So this is probably just a little over 2 pounds of chicken. And I'm cooking it all. I'm going to hold some of it to the side for other stuff, okay? All right.
But it already has the garlic in, so that's what counts.
Yes, because Mike loves the garlic. Okay,
What's the rat on Ratatouille? What's the name of that rat on Ratatouille?
I don't remember.
I always think with the garlic about smelling things like he does.
Here, you want to smell my garlicky hands?
I love garlic.
All right, so let me go through the mail real quick while we're waiting for this to cook. Jenna, right here. Thank you. Fine. Thank you for this cute little card of encouragement. I got that actually a couple of weeks ago, but I kept forgetting to do the mail a couple of weeks. And then Grace. Oh, Grace. Oh, Grace. Oh, Grace. I got this last week.
Oh, yes. That was so cute.
Oh, my goodness, Grace. Thank you so much. That is just absolutely darling. And the nice little note. Thank you. That is so cute. Here. Will it fall? Oh, no, it'll fall back there. Never mind. I'll have to find another spot for it. I don't want it to fall off the cabinet. And, oh, yeah, that's Grace's letter. And then, Barbara, thank you so much. I don't remember if I got to this for my Mother's Day gift in Bibles. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And then we got one more here. Now this is from Tim and Jackie. And I haven't opened it yet. I don't think it's ticking. I think it came, I think, before Monday's video went out, so I think I'm okay.
Stream cuts early. Well,
Huh?
if the stream cuts early.
If the stream cuts early, you'll know. I'll know. Oh!
Oh, yes.
Ah! Okay, somehow I don't
Yes.
think Tim of Tim and Jackie bought this for me. Thank you, Jackie.
Oh, wow.
So I mentioned
really
on the
nice.
show the other day, this is my favorite perfume, and they don't sell it anymore.
Wait, what's it called?
Apparently, they had a few of these on the website, and I didn't know that, and Jackie must have found it. Oh, see, doesn't that smell like me?
Ooh, yes, yes.
Oh,
It's on Amazon.
oh, thank you. Oh, is it really?
It's on Amazon for sale.
They have it
Fast
on
free
Amazon?
Shipping with Amazon, and it's in stock.
Oh.
Come look at this. This is the right one, right? It's from Bath and Body Works.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I didn't think to look at there because I just always knew it was at Bath and Body Works. So, thank you.
Josephina, before Monday's video, you're hilarious, Tara. I love you.
Well, awesome.
Uh,
Missed opportunity for Mother's Day. Whoops.
a missed opportunity for Mother's Day.
Yeah, I should have gotten it for you.
Actually, what you got, Dave got me. Let me show you.
Oh,
I have to
no.
brag.
I can't share the receipt or else our viewers would go crazy.
Our viewers would go crazy. He got me my favorite wood wick candle. I love these wood candles. Oh, and this one is spiced blackberry. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. You want to smell it again, Dave? Just to remember. Because you picked it out so well. And
Oh,
this,
I've got
not
that
to
one
get
for
the
you.
what?
The humidor.
Oh yeah, the cigar box. And then he got me 2 of these regular candles. Oh, they smell so good. This
The other
one
one
is salted caramel butterscotch. And this one is vanilla caramel spice. Ah, here, can you smell it? Ah, see, everyone went because
Wow.
they smelt it.
Wow.
You set those back over there. So I had a good Mother's Day. My family treats me well. Most days.
Flowers, but
Yes, I got a bunch of flowers for my garden, which it snowed on Monday. For those of you who saw, we got about 3 or 4 inches of snow on Monday.
I think that was the final snow we're gonna get those.
You think that was the final snow? I don't know. Should we take bets on if that was the final snow or not?
3 years in a row, we've had snow on May 27th. And usually on that day, it's like 8 inches of
Yeah.
super wet, sloppy snow, like a
Oh,
a
yeah.
Slurpee.
The 10 years, huh?
We could wait to put those in until May.
The 10 years we've been here, I think we've had the last 2 weeks of May snow for like 8 or 9 years out of the last 10 years we've lived here. And one year, last year, I think it was last year, it was like 8 inches. It was really bad. They canceled the last day of school. No, it must have been the year before that because last year they didn't have school. So it must have been the year before that.
So Pam is asking for the name and the link to the lotion that you got. Is that the Moonlight Path?
The Moonlight Path. I don't know. I guess just go to bathandbodyworks.com and look. I don't shop them online, so it didn't even occur to me to look online.
On Amazon, if you look up Moonlight Path, it's one of the first results.
Dave says he found it on Amazon, so maybe somebody bought it. I guess it's going out of production.
Is it?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
They said it was totally in stock. Like,
because when somebody told me, it said retiring or something like that. So
Melissa says, I absolutely love candles. My hubby gets me some every time he does something to upset me. So I get them frequently.
So I have to say, that is one of the things that I love getting for Christmas and Mother's Day and my birthday is candles. I absolutely love it.
Candles are so good.
They are, aren't they?
Wow. Cheryl says, in Illinois, I paid 99 cents for milk and eggs. Wow.
Oh, those rising grocery prices. Did I say that out loud? Here's the thing. Oh, man. I wasn't going to get started on this, but, you know, one of these days, my blood pressure. Here's the thing. I had a lot of people say, oh, well, I have those prices in Colorado that you have, too. Those are our sale prices in Colorado, but we never get milk for 99 cents a gallon here in Colorado. When I was in Minnesota and Wisconsin and Michigan and Kansas, ow, are you okay? Yes.
He was trying to sneak in quietly.
You were trying to sneak in quietly. They routinely had milk for 99 cents and eggs for 49 cents a dozen. We never see those prices in Colorado. I haven't ever seen milk for less than $2 a gallon here. And once or twice, eggs did get down to like 79 cents a dozen. But everyone pointed out on Friday's grocery prices rising that was a mega sale. Yeah. When those mega sale comes around every 3 or 4 months, I stock up on everything so that then I don't have to go pay $5 a pound for butter.
That's actually the way to really save that's why when we talk about you talk about using your pantry and the freezer so that she only buys things when they're on sale. Like we never get the idea today to go get something really exotic and just buy it at whatever price it is on the shelf today, because you're going to pay more for everything that way, probably twice as much, right?
Yeah. And like today I'm making the chicken Alfredo with whipping cream. Well, normally I wouldn't make it because whipping cream's super expensive where we are here. This was almost $5 here. And normally I wouldn't buy that, except that I'm doing some special videos with whipping cream and I happen to have it. And I know I'll have a little bit left over. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and make the chicken Alfredo for the show. So, okay. So I totally forgot because these were semi-frozen. It's taking forever for them to brown because they're defrosting first. So what I'm going to do is let this finish going. Pretty sure my noodles are cooked. So let me see here.
Jean shops at Aldi's. She said the price is very reasonable. We used to love shopping there when we could.
That's where we did most of our shopping when we lived in Kansas.
Sadly, we just don't have them here near us. Or are there anywhere in Colorado?
No, there's none in Colorado. Although, just a second. Although I will tell you, I never bought meat at Aldi's because meat was never that very good at Aldi. So, okay. Now, if your pasta gets done before your chicken and your sauce, don't freak out. Just drain it, put some oil or butter in it, stir it around, and it'll stay fine, okay? The oil keeps the noodles from sticky. Okay.
Actually, I was going to say a lot of discussion about the eggs here, mostly people talking about them being 99 cents or how to get them for that. But here, a good example of the prices look high if you just walk into the store and pick something up right now without thinking about it ahead of time. A good example of that here is if we go into our store, eggs are like $2.89 a dozen, but every other week or so, they're 99 cents a dozen.
Yeah.
So
We'll get them for 99 cents on sale, but not on sale, not for regular price. When we were in Kansas, that was the regular price, and then they would go on sale for 49 cents. But yeah, sorry, I mean,
well, the reason I mentioned that is because it's really a radical difference, and it's the same thing like with I discovered at our grocery store. We buy shredded cheese because we found out that for us the block is about the same price, so why shred it ourselves? But what I noticed is they have 8 ounce and a 16 ounce and a 32 ounce bag. So basically, a 16 ounce is 2/8 and a 32 ounce is 4/8. And so I've realized that we can always get it for somewhat less, usually significantly less than $2 for every 8 ounce. But sometimes the 8 ounce bag is the cheaper one, and sometimes the 16 ounce is the cheaper one, sometimes it's 32. And you have to do the math. Or if you're just picking it up off the shelf, it's going to seem expensive because you're probably going to end up paying for the most expensive one. So, and it's funny because the large one is not always the cheap one either, even if it says value buy or something like that.
Go into your notes. Typo.
Oh, okay.
All right.
What
Now I have a little bit of. I'll take a show. I have a little bit of chicken broth left. Now, if you are all fancy schmancy and have real Parmesan cheese, you can use real Parmesan cheese. I don't care. But if you're like me and you're cheap, this wonderful stuff, which is Parmesan cheese, is just as good. I'll be honest, I don't notice any difference between the real stuff and the jar stuff. I mean, I think it's basically the same. I think people are just being a little bit of a cheese snob, if I do say so myself, okay? All right, Dave, come on over. So, we got our chicken here, looking all yummy-licious. We're going to put in our butter. Now, it's not quite a full cup. That's totally fine. And I'm just going to sprinkle in my Parmesan cheese. How much is in here?
Oh my goodness, it's like white.
I don't know, but I just sprinkled it in there. And then the same thing with my cream. I'm going to estimate a cup or so of cream.
Can't really see it. It's white.
It's what?
It's very bright.
Oh, because it's all white. Okay, just like that.
It's fine.
Here is my seasoned salt, which has onion and garlic. And my homemade seasoned salt I use in everything. Now we're going to get the oregano and the basil. Basil. Well, you know what? Let's just go with Italian seasoning, shall we? Okay. Get some Italian seasoning in there. And then parsley. Where'd my parsley go? Well, where'd my parsley go? My parsley, I use dried parsley, and I think it's perfectly fine. So if you want to use real, you can. Oops, I was supposed to put the parsley on top, and I just dumped it in there, and I did not mean to do that. Oh, well, the parsley's all in there now, and that's just fine. And now we're going to mix all this together.
It still tastes.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, this looks good. Wow. All right. So then let me get this out of the way. And let me bring my new thrift store plate over here. Look it, isn't that beautiful? Got those for the show. Oh, I forgot to pull out my chicken. Oh, brother. Oh, well, we're going to be having Alfredo for a while. Okay.
I don't mind. Actually, it'll be interesting to see if we can get the ones who haven't tested it to try it. Then it probably would all be gone the same day.
Probably. Okay. So now I'm getting this all stirred up. My butter's not quite melted yet. My cheese is getting all nice and melty. Oh my goodness. Yum. And then just serve this with garlic bread or salad or coleslaw. I know coleslaw is an Italian, but whatever you want to serve it with. Alrighty. And then, oh my goodness gracious. Yum. Whoops. Oh dear. And then if you want, you can add a little bit more Parmesan cheese there. Is my heat turned off? Okay. All right. So my ever-loving taste tester.
I'm ready.
What's the verdict? Okay, so normally I don't eat this, but I am going to try a taste just because I haven't had it for so long.
Actually, I really love this. We don't eat it that often, though, but I still love it. Why don't we make it that much? Just because.
Because I don't eat dairy, and you're the only one who eats it because the boys don't like anything crazy fancy.
Well, I can't.
Okay, so can you see? Oh man, that is good. Ugh. Okay, go hand me a bowl.
What are those?
That's how easy it is, guys. Dining on a Dime, Volume 2, page 244, right there. Huh?
Wow.
Yeah, we'll take bowls. Just cause.
Okay. Try it and see what you think. Oh, you're not doing the dairy, are you?
Well, my main concern is I can't do dairy right now.
All right. Well, don't
Wow.
do it then. Let Jack try it and see what he thinks. Okay. Now, I am going to cut soap while we answer questions real quick. I made love spell.
Yay. Can you mix in the pasta, sprinkle with some parm, and broil it to toast the top?
You can if you want.
Got a sneeze coming
Yes.
on?
God bless you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
God bless
Oh,
you.
Tara, I love your gray hair. Your hair gray. It looks so pretty. Thank you, Freedom, though.
Thank you. What do you think? Jack's good. Never had it before. Are
Wow.
we switching over from picky eater to it might not be too bad, Mom?
So ours does not use cream cheese,
Can
right?
I have a no? But you can throw a thing of cream cheese in there if you want. It's just for the pasta.
You can kind of flex this too, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of other recipes.
This is Love Spell, guys. Let me tell you, goatmilkgifts.com, 35% off right now. Ellie is moving. Do you like it? Yeah, it's pasta. So she is putting everything goatmilkgifts.com on sale because she doesn't want to have to move it. So she's going to start over at the new place. Well, not start over, but I mean, just restock when she gets there. So right now, if you want soap or goat milk cream, this is good. It's very good. All right.
It is good.
See why you should try new stuff? You never know when you're going to like it, huh? So use the coupon code WOW35 and get 35% off at goatmilkgifts.com. Yes, Jack.
What is that?
This is Love Spell. The soap?
No,
The pasta?
Oh.
The pasta goes with that, but Dave didn't want it together, so.
Well, I just can't eat it.
Kimberly
I don't
asks,
care.
earlier, can you freeze whipping cream? Okay.
Not really. It separates really bad because it has so much fat in it. You can freeze milk and you can freeze butter and you can freeze cheese. But whipping cream, I don't know. If somebody's had good success with it, let me know. I have had a hard time getting the fat reincorporated back in. This one's Love Spell, guys. I've had a hard time getting the fat reincorporated back in. And so I don't freeze it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
So Amber said, I thought of you at the store today. I grabbed pork chops and threw them in the buggy. Then I said, wait, Tara doesn't pay more than $1.49 a pound for pork. When I checked the price, it was $4.97 a pound.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, it's funny.
Good for you.
Here, it's kind of like the eggs. We'll see it for a really big price, and then just occasionally it'll be a lot lower.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just stock up on it then.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That one's Love Spell, guys, and that'll be ready in 4 weeks. You can pre-order it right now, and then Ellie will ship it in 4 weeks when it is ready.
Michelle, the coupon code, the WOW35 that Tara mentioned, I don't think it matters if it's caps or not caps, but if you do it in caps, then it'll show you on the summary of the price, it'll have a minus however much it is in a different color so that you know that you're actually getting a discount with that coupon. So if it doesn't work in the one way, then try it the other. But I think it doesn't matter. I think he'll take it both ways. So, hi, Beth.
Yes, and there's no spaces. So the coupon code that I gave away the other day, everybody was like, well, Tara must have changed her mind. It didn't work for me. Well, I got charged. This is just a scam. No, you weren't using the coupon code right. There's no spaces and you have to hit apply.
And it does notify you. I mean, it does tell you if you look at the breakdown.
And don't put your credit card in if it doesn't say zero. You don't have.
You're talking about the zero.
Yeah,
ones.
your credit card is not required for free stuff that we give away.
But on the soap thing, though, on the soap, because it's 35% off and not zero, just look at the rundown of the price and make sure that it shows there's a section that will have a minus number on it, and that's the discount part. Jay Ramsey, what are the fragrances of the Love Spell soap? Is that the name of the fragrance?
That's the name. The Love Spell is the fragrance. And Ellie put a description in there, but it's kind of a fruity fragrance. Smells really good.
Barbara, I like to shop at Lidl. It's 5 miles away. I also have 3 Aldi within 6 miles, and I live in a small town.
Man, where do
That
you
sounds
live?
like paradise.
Maybe we should move there.
Yeah.
We don't have any really good discount stores here. We have Save a Lot, and it's okay, but it's not spectacular. I mean, it's all right.
So let's see. I'm not sure what Lisa was talking about. I get the large one and divide it up into baggies and freeze it. I wonder if she means the cheese. For us, we just get whichever one is actually cheapest at the moment. Although if it was a big bag and we didn't use much, we'd probably divide it up.
Yeah.
Tara does that with hamburger and other things to try to save.
I'll cook 10 pounds of hamburger at once because it takes me like 10 minutes longer to cook 10 pounds of hamburger as it does 1 pound. So I'll cook 10 pounds and then just do all of it at once.
Brown B thought you were cutting cheesecake. It's funny, when she first started making these soaps, I thought a lot of them look like desserts. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so Ellie's moving. So use the coupon code WOW35 and get 35% off goatmilkgifts.com. She's moving in about, I think, 6 or 8 weeks, but she's starting now just to get as much inventory gone so that just so that you can have a good deal and she can get as much gone as possible.
Elizabeth, at my grocery store, a quart, a pint, and a half pint of whipped cream were exactly the same price, and people were buying the half pint.
I don't understand that. I'm like, I don't get that kind of stuff. And people say, well, I don't use it all. Well, then use recipes around. Make recipes. I think that's the problem with people. People get it in their mind that this is what they want to eat, and they won't deviate at all around it. So they get in their mind that tonight I'm having guacamole. Well, it doesn't matter if avocados are $2.49. I'm going to just buy guacamole anyway. Well, for me, I don't have guacamole unless we either find the frozen stuff on clearance for 89 cents or avocados are 75 cents or less. We just don't at all. So.
Yeah. One person was saying they don't like to shop at Save a Lot. They said
mine's kind of dirty.
Yeah,
it's okay, but it's kind of scrungy and they don't keep it up very well. And so.
And then somebody else was talking about, they said they have a grocery outlet. Grocery outlet can be good for prices because a lot of times it's mildly.
Yeah. When we lived in Idaho, I shopped there. That was one of the ways that I saved when we went to town. So I say this story all the time, but we lived in Idaho. There was one little grocery store. It was $4.50 for a gallon of milk, even 25 years ago. I never bought any food there at all. I think we got a candy bar or something one time as a treat, but no food. I'd never bought any food out there. And then after I had to have a good talking down to the owner for gossiping about us, I really never went there. I don't remember what she was saying about us. Do you remember what she was saying about us?
No, but
I can't remember. Anyway, there are rumors flying around about us in town that something not good at all. And I went down and I gave her a good dressing down right there at the checkout stand. But anyway, that's beside the point. But I've always had a big mouth. I'm sorry, can't help it. But
you broke your little plaque now. You did keep it, didn't you?
I did. It's taped.
Oh.
And so I would drive 70 miles to groceries for once a month. And we would go to Rose Hours in Lewiston and Grocery Outlet in Lewiston. And back then, Costco had just come out there, I think. And so that was a newfangled thing. So we tried that and it was okay. And let's see, that was about it. Walmart did not have groceries back then. So it was just Rose Hours, Grocery Outlet, and occasionally Costco. I think we did Costco 1 year and then decided it wasn't worth the $30 that it cost to get in back then.
Tracy likes my haircut and says your hair looks good too.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Today we shot the
Tracy.
1 year update that I've been growing out my hair. So we shot that video today. So what's your opinion of people shopping at Whole Foods and complaining about grocery prices? I think they're entitled twits. Now, do you want me to really let you know what I think? No, seriously, I think they're entitled twits. If you want to shop at Whole Foods, that's perfectly fine. But don't complain about your debt, not about how you're living paycheck to paycheck. Don't complain about your debt. Don't complain about your high rent prices. Don't complain about how you can't pay your student loans. And then you're shopping at places like Whole Foods and buying organic and all that kind of baloney. It's ridiculous. It's not any healthier. And if you are completely 100% debt free and your retirement is all paid for, then you shop wherever you want. But I think they're just entitled twits if they're complaining about it. So
it's not the shopping there that's the problem. It's the expecting to get Aldi prices when you demand certain specialty items. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if people, I mean, like Tara said, if you can afford it, go ahead. But it's just the saying, I can't possibly get the prices you're getting.
Oh my word, Marie. Want to hear something crazy? I checked out an organic store just to look. I saw one bulb of garlic for $7. That's why I don't shop there. Exactly. That is nuts. That is absolute. And then it's these same people who, oh boy, I'm really going to get into it. It's these same people who expect the government to write off their student loans. Excuse me? Why should the rest of us be paying for your student loans because you who were smart enough to get into college was not smart enough to read the paperwork that you were signing, putting yourself in debt for the rest of your life for a social worker job that pays $40,000 a year. Seriously, I mean, that kind of thing really ticks me off. If you're going to be paying off student loans, then you need to go to every small business owner and you need to give them the same amount. I want the same amount for starting my business. The construction worker guy next door, he should get $100,000 for all the equipment that he had to buy to start his construction thing. Yeah, you better believe it. Get together, people. Oh my word. I am sorry, but that kind of thing really ticks me off. Okay, I'm done.
We just need to have a podcast. Just go.
She tried the podcast.
Go
but,
on.
and I think it was Cheryl earlier that asked if you've ever shopped at an Amish store.
So when Ellie and I went on our 3,000, 4,000, however many mile trip around the East Coast looking for a place to live 3 years ago, I went to an Amish store in Ohio, and I went to another one in Wisconsin. Big Family Homestead took us to one in Wisconsin also. And their prices were pretty good. So if you have an Amish store near you, that might be a good place for you to save money.
Josephina, every kid needs a parent like Tara, keeping them in line. Then we wouldn't have these whiners. She's been really,
yeah, but you know what?
She liked the whiner story.
But you know what about these student loans? You know what's even worse about the student loans? It's the parents' fault. Because the parents are the one taking out these parent loans, paying for this instead of their retirement. If the parents weren't paying for this baloney, and let me tell you, I have seen the colleges. We took my niece up there. I know what's going on at these colleges. A 15 different entree buffet for each meal. It was the cafeteria was absolutely absurd. We had vegan, we had vegetarian, we had barbecue, we had Chinese, we had Mexican, we had barbecue. Did I say barbecue? I don't know. We had American hamburgers. Then we had a nacho bar. Then we had a dessert bar. And then we had pizza bar.
Yeah.
For every meal.
Well, and the 90% of the students there just got the card handed to them. So I think they seem to think that this should be the way they eat all for every meal. And the weird thing about that is even if you do eat that way, like say you can afford it and you're paying for it yourself, it's not going to be great after you eat it every day. It's not going to be
But the parents are paying for this and the parents are agreeing to it. I'm sorry, but my niece, it was $1,200 for her to share a room that was no bigger than our kitchen for $1,200 a month. No kitchen, no bathroom. They had to share a bathroom. That is absurd, and there's no reason for a college to charge $1,200 to share a room. That's ridiculous. And people say, oh, the costs are skyrocketing. It's because parents are agreeing to pay for it. If the parents would stop paying for it, 1 year, it would take one semester of everybody boycotting these ridiculous colleges, and they would start rethinking it. Sorry, Mr. College graduate.
I honestly, I probably would have made as
But
much.
you wouldn't have paid that.
I probably would. Of course, my degree wasn't in the most productive field, although a lot of people's aren't. But my degree, without it, I probably would have made more money because I would have pursued something that paid.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are things that you can go to college for that are worth it. But if you're going there for if you're going there for a sociology degree or a social work, you're basically volunteering to come up with a lot of money to pay to have the honor of doing the job that you're going to do. So if that's what you want to do, fine. But if you're actually going to, we like to think that if you're going to go to college, there should be a cost benefit. Like there should be a benefit that's significantly higher than the cost. And if there's not, then I wouldn't waste the time. Actually, what really helped me is after struggling to make money with the degree, then seeing Tara had 4 cousins that none of them had degrees, right? They all made more money than me.
A lot more.
Until I got out of the television field. So, yeah. So.
See, everybody says I'm right. Because once again, I am right.
Yep.
And I have no problem saying I am right.
Well, and Michelle says that's why community colleges cost less. The thing about the community colleges, I think, is community colleges are mostly older people who are already working and they pay their own way. But a lot of the larger institutions are mostly kids whose parents feel guilty if they don't pay this because they've been told your kids are all going to fail as human beings if you don't put a mortgage on your house to pay for it. So,
well,
honestly, that's the thing I was going to say, though, is that not what you were going to say, but people are held hostage by fear of what's going to happen to their kids if they don't.
Nothing's going to happen.
Because of that, they don't get to retire because they're in debt paying for their kids.
I got news for you guys. If parents boycotted college for just one semester, absolutely nothing would happen to your kids. Absolutely nothing. 6 months delay in getting your degree to get these colleges to wake up and see what fools they are.
Oh, they're not fools.
It would be working. Well, yeah,
money.
they're not fools because parents are falling for it. That's the truth.
Paula, my daughter's paying her own way through university without loans. That's good. And honestly, I think if every kid paid at least for a substantial part of it, that they would make a lot wiser decisions with it as they went, because now they suffer if they make stupid decisions instead of just the parent. So it wasn't our plan to pay anyway, because we both worked, and even though my parents paid for the tuition part, it was $3,200 for the tuition part for the 4 years that I went, which I know that sounds really super cheap, but I'm old. What can I say? Well, and that was in Texas where the tuition used to be lower. But even then, we still both worked significantly during that time. And I think it's hard for kids to do that, but it's good for them because they learn, being able to pull up their bootstraps and succeed on their own, and in which case they don't waste things as much. So, in fact, I used to know a girl in college whose parents paid for everything for her, and they gave her a credit card for mostly gas. And she one time bragged to our class that she would take the credit card and stand at a gas pump and wait for people to drive up and offer to buy them like $20 worth of gas if they would give her $15 in cash. So basically, she was ripping off her parents intentionally. And I think that's the attitude for a lot of people when other people pay for stuff for them, they don't have any responsibility for that. Not everybody is that way, but it's kind of human nature. If people make you feel like you deserve everything and you're going to get it for free, then you'll think what's wrong with that. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, and it's like Stephanie said, she works in the ER. Many of the college kids brought in were hungover and crying and not wanting their parents to find out. Yeah, let their parents find out. This is the parents' fault.
But I think a lot of those situations, the parents might not do anything because that's true.
If the
kids are accustomed to getting away with stuff and getting everything they want, then probably that fear is unwarranted because the parents will probably, try to bail them out of it in some sort of way on their own. We told our kids, if you end up in jail for something like that, you're going to have to sleep it off overnight there before we come get you.
At least.
And they never did. Nathaniel said, I can't tell you how many vacuum cleaners I find in the trash and people just throw them away because they're clogged. Drives me crazy that people don't just try to fix them.
What?
Yeah.
Because they're clogged?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, college is the biggest farce that our country has at the moment. Well, probably not the biggest one at the moment. There's probably a whole lot more going on, but it's sad. I mean, I see parents working 2 jobs, 1 minimum wage job to help their kid make it through college, and I'm like, this is so sad. You are 55, 60 years old, and you are working a minimum wage job to help pay your kid through college. And the degree was an okay degree, but it still wasn't that spectacular. I'm like, this is so pitiful. I mean, it was actually, I really felt sorry for them, but.
Yeah, Cheryl was talking about her nephew going to the Navy and that they paid for his. Yeah, that's the thing is there you're taking some action that it's not just given to you for free. It's given to you because you did something.
Well, there's so many different
useful.
ways you can do. You can get scholarships. You can get grants. You can go to community. And you can start in high school. My kids went to a high school where the first 2 years of their college was paid for through the public school. You can take AP classes and test out of a lot of the classes in school. You can go to trade school. You can go to, you can go to community college and then work your way up. You can get jobs where they'll pay for your college. You know, there's just so many things you can do. So,
well, it's funny because our son went to, it wasn't a regular college, I guess. Was it a trade school for the drone flying?
Yeah.
And they had the ability to get student loans and stuff. And BJ decided he wanted to pay cash. And he went there and asked, hey, how much would it be to pay cash? And they said, what? You're the first person who's ever asked. We don't even know.
Yeah.
So
they couldn't give him a number because nobody had done it.
So they went to their accounting department and crunched all the numbers. And typically a student would pay $25,000 for the program through student loans and then interest on top of that eventually. And for the cash price, it was $5,000 for the same thing. Like that's 5 times more for the convenience of borrowing. And I forgot, somebody else had said it'd be better to work and pay for it first. And I totally agree. Or pay as you go. It'd be better to take 6 years to get out because you're working while you're going instead of taking, 30 years afterwards to pay it off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I know a lot of people look for if the government's going to pay that. Well, maybe the government will use the tax money and do something with that. But I knew people when I was in college many moons ago, and they were kind of in the same sort of expectation.
But you haven't aged a year, honey.
And wow, how long ago was that? That was 30 years ago. Oh my goodness. And they're still waiting. So if you're counting on that now, maybe things would be different now, but the reality is better not to wait for someone else to take care of the choice that you made.
Carolyn says, my son, who is a junior in high school, already has 19 college credits in math and scored 36 on the ACT. Yeah, Ellie graduated high school at 16 years old with 25 college credits. She decided she didn't want to go to college, but she graduated high school with 25 college credits. So
actually, it's funny you mentioned that though, because that's one thing about college that I didn't realize till I think I'd been 2 weeks in college, and they said I had placed out of some classes, but they said, hey, I said, are there other classes I can place out of? Because that's where you take a test and you have to pay for the test. But if you pass, you don't have to take the class and you just get credit for it.
yeah.
So I went in and just took all the placement tests I could think of. And it was a semester and a half of stuff that I placed out of with tests, so I didn't have to take it. And so there are a lot of ways, if you do need to go for some reason, that you can get that cheaper.
Lisa says there are options besides living in the dorms if parents don't want to spend it or can't afford to spend it. Actually, that's not true. Here in Colorado, you are required to live in the dorm the first year unless your parents live in the city that the college is. Even if you can reasonably drive to school, it's required. And that's another farce that the school is just pulling over on people.
So if you're living at home with because when I was in school, they wanted you to stay in the dorm the first year. But it seems like if you said you were living at home with your parents, then they would let you if you were within a certain distance.
Yeah, it's only like 20 miles in Colorado.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
I don't, far be it for me to advocate not telling the truth, but how is anybody verify if you're living with your parents or not when you're not on campus?
Well, you have to have your driver's license say that address.
Right, but it doesn't have to say your parents live there.
Oh, you mean if you move, just don't change your driver's license or whatever?
Well, no, if you move to close to there, how do they know?
Yeah, but see, like us, we
never.
never lived in Fort Collins. So what are you supposed to do for that?
Well,
You mean,
I'm just saying if the student has an apartment in the town
yeah.
and then
Yeah, but
the student just applies.
don't the parents have to pay for or do all this paperwork
If the
saying that
parents
they,
decide to pay for it, then yeah.
I don't know then.
That's the thing.
Oh, I don't know. Well,
So-
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Michael says, forget about college unless you want to be a doctor, lawyer, or dentist. You'll never be more wealthy and free than when you work for yourself. And that's absolutely true. And that's why we've really tried to encourage our kids to think about being entrepreneurial. Because I've noticed so many people that I knew, including myself, with college degrees, they really don't make enough money to really justify that. And then you kind of train yourself to be sort of thinking, well, this is my field, so I'm not doing anything. Or, so I'm not doing anything more than this. Whereas if you're, well, in a lot of fields don't really need the degree. Like I was in television production, and once I noticed that when I was hiring people, especially once they got a job, nobody cared about the degree at all anymore, ever. Now, if you're, like he said, a doctor, if you're a doctor or a lawyer or a dentist, then obviously you're gonna have to do that. And in that case, try to figure out the least expensive way to do it in the most efficient way. But for a lot of jobs, because I knew people that, I used to know some people that one lady got a PhD in social work because she wanted to work in social work, and the job that she was trying to get paid $19,000 a year. And I was thinking, you'll never pay that off in your entire life.
Or teachers teaching kindergarten need a master's degree. Are you kidding me?
Based on your income potential, you'll never pay that off in your entire life. And it's funny, I guess it was just life experience that made me start to realize if I'm going to pay and spend 4 years of my life to do it, then the return on the investment better be pretty high. And unfortunately, I didn't realize that until I had worked a lot of years in that field. But yeah, Stephen, go to college only if what you want to do requires a college degree. And I think a lot of people don't really think about that ahead of time, because somebody else was asking about a liberal arts degree, and that's more or less a degree, and I can't figure out what I want to do. So I'm just going to get some classes so that it'll look good on a resume. But the reality is most jobs want you to have an education, if it requires a degree that matches what it is they need from you, not just generally classes.
Wow, Steven says the high school is forcing kids to apply at college. Oh my goodness, they would be hearing from me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bye,
I
Rachel.
was a bad kid.
That would not be good.
I agree that social work is important. I just think it's kind of silly that you have to have a PhD to do it.
Yeah,
Like
there's no reason for it.
you could easily have a regular degree and then have some sort of certification to make sure that, you are safe to be around people that, were vulnerable or whatever. But that's not the process that there is now. So.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, very proud. Wendy, very proud of my daughter. She utilized 2 years at community college that was paid for by the district while attending university, and she applied for so many scholarships she won. So I think she's saying, when she says paid for by the district, I think she means in high school, because I know a lot of people do that, and then applied for scholarships. And yeah, it's funny because we talked to somebody recently who said that she had applied for scholarships and got one just because nobody else even applied.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
there are ways to make it happen. And with Dave, he's been in a program that it's college, but it's like a quarter of the price of college, and you can do it for up to 3 years and then transfer to almost any college in the country and get a degree just in the last year at that college. And so the cost, if you wanted to pay for something like that, is a lot cheaper.
Michelle says there was only one girl in my class that didn't want to go to college, and she was really smart. She annoyed the teachers. That was me. I had straight A's in high school. I am not kidding. Every 2 to 3 weeks, I was in the counselor's office with them lecturing me about how I have to take AP classes and go to college. And I said, I don't want to. I don't want to go to college. You have to go to college. You're a straight A student. You have to go to college. You're never going to amount to anything if you don't go to college. Have I amounted to anything?
Nope. Yes, you have. I just said that for BJ's benefit. And by the way, BJ, you're getting shout outs from people who say poke your head in.
I am a birthing person.
Yes.
Those women who are going around calling mothers birthing people need to be hogtied. They better not say that to my face, because I got a nice little thing I'm going to say to them if anybody ever calls me a birthing person. Are you kidding me? I almost died being a birthing person. I stayed up all hours of the night being a birthing person. You better believe I earned the right to be called a mom. Thank you very much. Ugh.
Yeah, I think that's kind of insulting to women.
Very insulting.
And when other women say it.
And it's other women that are doing it. These feminists are absolutely destroying women. It's absurd.
Karen, do y'all have a cookbook or books of somewhere to order? Hate changing the subject, just meals remind me of the family dinners we shared growing up. Yes, in fact.
So our Dining on a Dime cookbooks right here. Volume 1, Volume 2. Volume 1's back here. If you don't have any, start with Volume 1. It's our basic cookbook. And then Volume 2 is just the companion to Volume 1 with all new recipes. And it's just home cooking like Grandma and Mom used to make. Grandma and Mom used to make. I hurt my jaw. And so I also have the gluten-free edition. So if you're gluten-free, we have gluten-free right here. And if you guys need easy recipes, check out my 5-ingredient recipe channel. The link is in the description below. Michael put a link up real quick here. But
wait, for what? What am I paying?
5-ingredient.
The 5-ingredient channel?
Yeah. And so I have a new 5-ingredient channel that I'm starting, and then a new gluten-free channel Michael put on there.
If you go to the 5-ingredient channel, Tara made what was it that you made yesterday that the gnomes were liking?
Oh, the 2-ingredient Nutella chocolate mousse.
That is so to die for.
It was good.
We ate it, and then Tara had to make more because the kids, not all the kids had gotten some, and they were. Yeah. She didn't eat it. When I say it was like Jack.
I tasted it, but I didn't eat it. Yeah. And Ellie got home from work, and she was like, "Mom, you said you'd have some chocolate mousse for me." And I was like, "Well, your brothers ate it all, so I made her some more because it only took 2 minutes to make."
Mrs. Fern said, "A birthing person. If that was all I did, I would have left my children at the hospital."
Thank you. I have worked 25 very long years.
Mary.
Yes, you smiling over there. I know. I have to count the pregnancy. And I'm rounding up. No, and I'm rounding up.
But even rounding up, it's only 1 year more.
No, he's going to be 25 next year. So if he's 24 this year and I was pregnant for a year.
I'm 23.
I know. So you're going to be 24 this year and then 25 next year.
So Mom's
saying, I'm rounding up a half a year.
Mom's saying because your birthday is at the end of next year.
That's math makes no sense. This is why
thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. I had the same conversation with her yesterday.
It makes perfect sense. He's going to be 25 next year.
Just say yes, dear.
I rounded up a half a year for pregnancy.
Yes, Mom. Mary, late to the live, sorry, but how do you store your DIY breadcrumbs and croutons, and how long do they store?
If they're dried, you don't have to store them in the fridge or anything. You can just store them in the pantry, and they'll last 3 to 6 months if they're dried. If they're not dried, then I just store, like, if I don't feel like, or if I don't have enough bread yet for breadcrumbs, I'll just store the bread heels or whatever in a Ziploc bag in the freezer, and then when I have enough, I'll dry them and crunch them up.
Yep. Okay. Did you want to mention Ellie's soap thing while we're still?
Oh, okay. So one last time, guys, Ellie's moving, so she has WOW35 for the coupon code for 35% off soaps and the goat milk cream. Everybody loves the goat milk cream. And so she's clearing out inventory and gonna just rebuild up when she gets moved, just so she doesn't have so much to move. And Melissa Yes, please check out the gluten-free channel. It's gluten-free, dairy-free. I just called it gluten-free because nobody searches dairy-free, but it is all gluten-free, dairy-free.
And I have to tell you, as we were testing these recipes, I thought, man, some of these are better than the regular book. They're all good. They're all really good. But some, wasn't it the brownies?
Yeah, he likes
I
the
like
brownies
the gluten-free one better.
than
Myself.
the regular ones,
So,
which is funny.
yeah.
So
yay.
anyway, but all right, guys, have a good night. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you guys next week.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Ending.